Beloved soul, before your mind tries to rush ahead, pause. Take one slow breath with me now. Because the fact that you are here in this exact moment is not coincidence. This message did not appear randomly. It reached you because something inside you has already shifted, even if you have not fully named it yet. I am Archangel Michael, and I stand close to you now. There is a quiet tension surrounding your energy. Not fear, not weakness, but awareness awakening. And yes, the one from your past feels it too. They are restless. They are unsettled. They are experiencing inner conflict they would never admit out loud. Not because they suddenly hate you, not because anger fills them, but because something they relied on without realizing it is slowly changing. Your availability. Beloved soul, understand this clearly. There was a time when your presence felt guaranteed to them. Your forgiveness felt endless. Your patience felt permanent. They believed, without ever saying it, that no matter what happened, you would remain emotionally reachable. And now that certainty is dissolving, they sense it in the quiet moments. Late at night, early in the morning, in the spaces between distractions, they feel that something inside you has changed, and that unsettles them more than the separation ever did. Because heartbreak is familiar, but growth cannot be controlled. Beloved soul, they replay memories you no longer live inside. They revisit moments you have already emotionally released. They feel the echo of your love now that it no longer surrounds them. And this is why they feel exposed. Not because you are doing anything to hurt them, but because you are no longer shrinking yourself to be understood. Your ex senses that you are waking up to your own worth. And when someone realizes they can no longer reach you the same way, discomfort arises. They remember the version of you that stayed quiet to keep peace. The version of you that explained your pain instead of being met with accountability. The version of you that loved deeply and waited patiently. They are realizing that version of you may no longer exist. And beloved soul, this realization feels unsettling to them. Because you are not becoming cold, you are becoming clear. This is not revenge energy. This is not bitterness. This is self-respect, returning to its rightful place. Truth has a way of awakening those who benefited from your silence. They feel you pulling inward. They feel you choosing yourself without announcing it. They feel an emotional shift happening. Slowly, quietly, decisively. And that silence speaks louder than any argument ever did. There are moments when they almost reach out. Their fingers pause. Their thoughts move quickly, but hesitation stops them. Saying you unchanged felt familiar. Seeing you healed feels uncertain. They sense that you no longer need their validation, that their attention no longer determines your emotional state, that their absence no longer disrupts your inner balance. Beloved soul, hear this truth gently. When someone realizes they have lost influence over your heart, they often mistake it for losing love. But what is truly changing is attachment. You did not become distant to punish them. You became grounded to protect yourself. And that difference matters. Your peace now feels unfamiliar to them. Because peace means you are no longer reactive, no longer chasing explanations, no longer waiting for effort that never arrives. They are hoping, not with words but with emotion, that you remain unsure. Because as long as you doubt yourself, they do not have to fully reflect on what changed. But you are no longer meant to live in doubt. Beloved soul, this message is reaching you now because you are standing at a threshold, a moment where old emotional patterns dissolve quietly, a moment where you stop measuring your worth by how someone else treated you. If these words resonate deeply, it is because your soul already recognizes the truth within them. And when truth resonates, it deserves to be honored. There is more unfolding beneath the surface, more clarity arriving, more release preparing itself gently. Stay present with me. What is happening now will help you understand why this connection has felt heavy lately and why something healthier is beginning to align with you. Remain here. Remain open. Remain grounded. This journey is honoring you now. Beloved soul, stay with me. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath deepen. Because what unfolds now is not about the past pulling you backward. It is about truth rising to meet you where you stand. I am still here with you. What your ex is feeling goes deeper than missing you. It is the shock of realizing that the emotional ground has shifted beneath them. Once, they knew exactly how to reach you. A message, a memory, a moment of vulnerability, and your heart would open. But now, that access is gone. Not because you hardened, but because you healed. Beloved soul, they feel something they cannot name. A distance that is not physical. A silence that does not invite conversation. They sense that you are no longer waiting for them to decide your worth. You are no longer holding space for half-effort, mixed signals, or emotional excuses. And this realization unsettles them deeply. They are begging in ways you cannot hear. Through restlessness, through regret, through the sudden urge to check on you, even if they never do, because they know something they never prepared for. You learn to choose yourself. There was a time when your love felt unconditional to them. They believed your patience would stretch forever. They assumed your understanding would always cover their absence. And now that safety has vanished. Beloved soul, understand this clearly. They are not panicking because they changed. They are panicking because you did. They remember how you tried, how you waited, how you stayed even when it cost you peace. They remember how safe it felt to know you were there. And now, that safety is gone. This is why regret arrives quietly, not as loud apologies, not as sudden transformation, but as late-night thoughts, as heavy chests, as questions they can no longer escape. What if I tried harder? What if I showed up differently? What if I lost something irreplaceable? Beloved soul, regret does not mean readiness, and missing you does not mean they are capable of loving you well. This is an important truth your soul is learning now. Your ex is threatened by your peace, because peace means you are no longer reactive. Peace means you are no longer chasing clarity from confusion. Peace means emotional games no longer work on you. They feel you closing a chapter without drama. And quiet endings terrify people who rely on chaos, because loud endings can be negotiated. Quiet endings cannot. Your silence now is not pain. It is power. You are no longer proving, no longer reminding, no longer explaining. They already know what they lost. They may observe you from a distance. Watch your life indirectly. Search for signs that you are still hurting, because as long as you hurt, they feel relevant. But when they sense your calm, your focus, your emotional stability, It shakes them, beloved soul. This message is not reopening wound. It is explaining the release you are already experiencing. Memories may resurface. Feelings may rise and fall. This does not mean you are regressing. It means your soul is clearing space. You are not meant to return to what broke you. You are meant to understand why you outgrew it. Not everyone who misses you deserves access to you again. And not everyone who regrets losing you is ready to value you. Your ex feels loss. You feel growth. And there is a difference. You are learning to sit with emotions without letting them rule you. You are learning that love should feel steady, not confusing. You are learning that peace is more valuable than familiarity. This lesson is preparing you. There is a moment approaching where you will stop asking why you were not enough. And you will finally see that some people lose good things because they never learned how to hold them. Your ex senses this realization nearing you, and they are afraid. Because once it fully lands, you will never see them the same way again. Beloved soul, stay present. What is unfolding next will show you why this ending is not a loss, but a doorway. Something far more aligned is already moving toward you. Remain here. Remain grounded. Remain open. You are being guided. Gently, precisely, divinely. And this is only deepening. Beloved soul, stay close. Let the noise fall away. Because what unfolds now is where clarity becomes unmistakable. Your ex is not only reacting to your absence, they are reacting to your evolution. Even if there is no new person in your life yet, they feel replaced, not by another lover, but by something they cannot compete with. Your self-respect. There was a time when your emotional rhythm revolved around them, when their attention calmed you, when their distance unsettled you. Your nervous system learned to wait, to hope, to read between silences. But that pattern has broken, and this is the part they feel most strongly. You are no longer scanning for signs, no longer interpreting breadcrumbs as meaning, no longer tying your value to their behavior. Beloved soul, this shift did not happen overnight. It was earned through disappointment, through unanswered questions, through choosing yourself again and again when it felt uncomfortable. Your ex thought time was endless. They believed you would pause your life until they were ready. They assumed your patience had no expiration. They were wrong. People do not stay the same when they are hurt repeatedly. Love does not return unchanged after being neglected, and hearts do not wait forever. This realization is hitting them now, not as motivation to grow, but as fear of loss. They understand something crucial far too late. You did not leave suddenly. You left slowly. You left the moment consistency disappeared. You left the moment effort became optional. You left the moment your needs were minimized. Even if your body stayed longer, your soul had already begun walking away. Beloved soul, growth often looks invisible from the outside. There are no announcements, no confrontations, just a calm decision to stop settling. And calm terrifies those who relied on your emotional availability. They may feel an urge to reach out, not always to repair, but to test, to see if they still matter, to confirm if the door is still open, to feel reassurance that they still hold space in your heart. But fear stops them, because the most painful response is not rejection. It is indifference. Silence now answers questions they never asked out loud. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to justify your healing. Your grounded energy is already communicating everything. Beloved soul, this phase is teaching you discernment. Not every apology leads to change. Not every regret equals growth. Not every connection deserves a second chapter. Some people only recognize your value once you are no longer available to be taken for granted. Your ex sees clearly now. They see how much you gave, how much you compromised, how much you tried, and they understand something painful. Finding someone with your depth is rare. This realization creates panic, not transformation. You are not meant to carry their regret. You are not responsible for their awakening. You honored this connection until it no longer honored you. That matters, beloved soul. Notice what is forming within you now. A quiet confidence, a steadiness, a sense of emotional safety that comes from within. You respond less. You observe more. You no longer chase clarity from those who avoid it. Your ex feels this shift. They feel it when your name enters their mind. They feel it when they realize you are no longer waiting. And fear grows. Because once you fully step into this version of yourself, old patterns no longer reach you. The universe does not remove people to punish you. It removes them to protect your expansion. And sometimes, those removed only understand your worth once access is gone. You may feel waves of nostalgia, moments of tenderness, unexpected memories. This does not mean weakness. It means you loved sincerely. But loving deeply does not require staying where you are undervalued. Your ex sees you choosing differently now. Choosing peace over uncertainty, choosing alignment over attachment. And this is powerful. A cycle is closing quietly. A lesson is completing itself. You are being prepared for a connection that feels steady, a connection that meets effort with effort, a connection that does not make you question your worth. Your ex senses this alignment approaching. And they beg, not with words, but with fear. Stay grounded, beloved soul. What is ending is making room, and what is coming will not feel confusing. It will feel calm. Beloved soul, remain with me, because now we enter the space where truth settles into your body, not just your mind. What is happening is no longer about whether your ex reaches out, returns, or disappears. It is about you crossing a line you cannot uncross. Awareness. Your ex is panicking because they feel energetically replaced. Even if no new person stands beside you yet, the space they once occupied has been filled, not with bitterness, not with anger, but with self-respect. And self-respect changes everything. There was a time when your happiness rose and fell with their attention, when their silence felt like punishment, when their presence felt like relief. That emotional loop trained your heart to wait instead of choose. But something within you has broken free. You no longer scan for signs. You no longer read meaning into absence. You no longer hold your breath for someone else's readiness. This inner freedom is what they feel now, and it terrifies them. They realize time is not endless, that people do not pause their healing for someone else's comfort. That love, when ignored too long, transforms into self-protection. They believed you would always remain emotionally accessible, that your patience would override your needs. They underestimated your soul. Beloved soul, growth rarely announces itself. It moves quietly, decisively. A calm decision to stop accepting inconsistency. A gentle refusal to chase effort. A peaceful withdrawal from emotional confusion. This calm is what frightens your ex. Because chaos can be manipulated. Peace cannot. They are not afraid you stopped loving them. They are afraid you stopped needing them. And that difference changes the entire power dynamic. They feel urgency now, a sense that something irreversible is happening. They know chances do not wait forever, that hearts do not stay open indefinitely, that once someone truly chooses themselves, the door does not reopen easily. Beloved soul, let this truth anchor you. You are not cold. You are not distant. You are aligned. You are no longer negotiating your worth, no longer explaining your boundaries, no longer shrinking to maintain connection. Your silence is not absence. It is presence within yourself. This is why they feel exposed. They see clearly now what they once ignored, how deeply you loved, how consistently you showed up, how much you sacrificed. And they realize that replacing you is not simple. But realization does not equal readiness. You are not meant to wait for someone else's awakening. You are meant to continue your own. Beloved soul, guilt may whisper to you at times. Memories may soften your resolve. But remember this: outgrowing a situation is not betrayal. Choosing peace is not cruelty. Releasing what drains you is not abandonment. Your ex is not losing you suddenly. They are finally noticing a loss that began long ago. And you do not need to carry their fear. Notice how your body feels now. Calmer, steadier, less reactive. This is alignment. You are becoming emotionally unavailable to chaos, unavailable to confusion, unavailable to inconsistency. And this is why your energy feels different. The universe is completing a lesson within you, closing a cycle gently. You are being prepared for a connection that feels mutual, effort that feels natural, love that does not require endurance. Your ex senses this shift even if they cannot name it. And fear arises because they know this version of you will not accept the past. Stay grounded, beloved soul. What is being released is not love. It is attachment to uncertainty. And what comes next will not ask you to prove yourself. It will recognize you. Beloved soul, stay here with me just a little longer. Because what settles now is the truth your heart has been preparing to accept. This is not an ending filled with loss. It is a completion filled with clarity. Your ex is not panicking because you disappeared. They are panicking because you stayed long enough to learn, and then you chose differently. They can feel that you are no longer emotionally reachable in the same way. Not unreachable, but unavailable to confusion. And that distinction matters. There was a time when your empathy softened every boundary, when your understanding excused behavior that hurt you, when your hope kept you waiting longer than your spirit wanted. But now, beloved soul, your energy has changed. You no longer chase closure. You no longer wait for words that arrive without action. You no longer seek validation from someone who once made you question yourself. This is why their panic feels sudden to them. They thought they had time. They thought you would stay open. They thought your love would always leave the door unlocked. They were wrong. What they feel now is not your responsibility to soothe. What they fear now is not yours to fix. You are not meant to carry someone else's regret. Notice how you feel when you imagine returning to the old version of yourself. The one who waited, the one who explained, the one who accepted inconsistency as normal. Your body resists. That is wisdom. That is alignment. Beloved soul, love that costs you peace is not love meant to stay. And love that requires you to disappear is not love meant to grow. Your ex feels replaced because the space they occupied has been reclaimed by you. Your calm, your boundaries, your self-trust. And self-trust is something no one can take from you. This is why the connection feels lighter now, even if emotions still surface. This is why memories no longer pull you backward the same way. This is why your future no longer feels dependent on their choices. You are stepping into a new standard. One where love meets you with effort. One where communication is clear. One where peace is not a reward, but the baseline. Beloved soul, understand this gently. What you are releasing is not the person. It is the version of yourself that accepted less than you deserved. And that release creates space. Space for mutual love. Space for safety. Space for consistency. Your ex may continue to feel restless. They may continue to wonder. They may continue to regret. But you are no longer meant to live inside their realization. You are meant to live inside your truth. If these words resonate deeply, it is because your soul already recognizes the shift. And when something resonates, it deserves acknowledgement. A simple act of presence, a quiet moment of agreement with yourself, even a small gesture of support reminds your energy that you are choosing alignment. Stay grounded, beloved soul. What is coming will not confuse you. It will not drain you. It will not make you doubt yourself. It will feel calm. It will feel steady. It will feel like home. And when that arrives, you will understand why this chapter had to close exactly the way it did. You are protected. You are guided. You are honoring yourself now. And that is the beginning of everything you asked for, even when you didn't know how to ask. Remain in peace.